All right, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, what we're going to cover right now is a very important and a very basic fundamental to your needle setup and everything that goes into the quality of the sound. It's something that you don't have to do too often. It's something that you can do as soon as you have your cartridge set up on your head shell. Now, once you get your cartridge, in this case, we have the M44-7. Is that in focus? No.
Yep.
Okay. Attached to a standard Technics head shell, and once you have all this taken care of, the most popular way is mounting it flush with the front of the head shell and the front of the cartridge. You just mount them flush together there with the screws, and once you have it connected with the wires there, once that's all set up, you can already immediately feel that this has some pretty good weight to it. Now, there's lots of different cartridges out there on the market. This, for example, is an Ortofon scratch tip and a basic Ortofon cartridge body. And this one doesn't have as much weight as this one does. So the counterbalance, which looks like this, and it sits right here on the back of your tone arm, okay? That counterbalance or counterbalance weight is what balances the weight of the head shell, which is on the end of the tone arm here, and the other side of the pivot point. Now, one very important thing to remember is your records are not indestructible, and the more weight you have pressing down on the record so that the needle stays in the groove, the more high risk you have of ruining your records faster. And of course, you're scratching the record, and the needle is in the groove, and there's no way around getting the wear and tear on your records. But what you can do is set your turntables up to have the least amount of wear and tear. Now, how this thing exactly operates, and you can find this in the Techniques manual too. This counterbalance has a gauge on it. Okay, can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, you can see that it has a gauge of approximate grams of weight. This dial spins independently of the actual weight itself, if you can see that. I'm holding the weight but spinning the dial. Now, so that the reason why the dial spins is so that you can accurately approximate how much weight you have pushing down on your tone arm. So the way to make sure that your tone arm is balanced is have your cartridge attached to your tone arm, and make sure that your counterbalance is back here, on where it's supposed to go, and turn it so that it slides back or forth however you need to do it, and make sure that your tone arm floats level without you having to touch it. Now, in this case, there's still more weight on the front end, so I'm going to turn it to spin back a little bit more, and it looks like right about there it's not touching the record yet. So right about there is a good zero kind of balance. Now, what you can do once you find that zero equilibrium point, you can spin the dial once it's on there to line up with the line that's sitting right here on top of this end of the tone arm. And I don't know if you could see it right now. Now, that line will, you hold the weight steady like this, and you can move the dial however you need to line up right with that line. And I'll show you what that looks like when you have to arrange that. You can just spin the dial however you need to find that 0 point, which will be right here at 12 o'clock. And then it should, if you didn't move the weight at all, it should still be balanced like that. You can just take the whole weight, and while it's on the back of the tone arm, spin it to move it forward. And according to the manual, you should probably use about 2.5 to 3 grams of pressure, but that's a rough, approximate number. And if you turn this weight, can you see the numbers, or is it too far away? Okay. As you spin it, the numbers increase. Now right there is 3 grams, and theoretically the needle should fall to the record, which it did. And as you can see, with the pressure correctly calibrated, the needle looks like it's sitting there pretty good. Now every cartridge, the reason why you'd have to do this if you change cartridges or change head shells is because every head shell and cartridge combination will have a different weight attached to it, and you want to make sure that you're getting the best quality sound without ruining your records, but also making sure that your needle will stay in the groove if you need to cue it up or scratch it or whatever it is that you're doing. And the most important thing is, over time, you don't wear your records out because you have too much pressure on your needles. And that's it.